I hope we've all made preparations and we're all feeling good and expectant about the Christmas weekend. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here on Adult Conversations, you give all the advice by contributing on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio runs every Monday through Thursday because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, just send your story along with your name and contact number. Send your story along with your name and contact number to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Tonight on Adult Conversations, he disrespects me. He disrespects me. My name is Cynthia, 30 and a teacher. My boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another lady last year, but I didn't break up with him because I was scared of starting afresh at almost 30, and I love him. However, after that incident, I noticed he doesn't respect me anymore. He hardly calls and always gives attitude. Did I do wrong by accepting him back then? Please advise me. Hmm. So this is Cynthia speaking tonight. Cynthia is 30 years of age. She's a teacher by profession. She she's in a situation that she's asking if she did wrong by accepting her boyfriend back. Her boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another lady last year, but she didn't break up with him because she was scared of starting all over again from the beginning at almost 30. And she said, I love him. However, after that incident, she said she noticed he doesn't respect her anymore. He hardly calls and he always gives attitude. So she's asking, did I do wrong by accepting him back? Did I do wrong by accepting him back then? So please advise me. The number to call to give Cynthia some advice tonight is 07917 917 or 917. You can do well to send a text or a WhatsApp message onto the number 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. And of course, anywhere you are in the world, you can listen via the stream link www.wfm917.com. www.wfm917.com. Now, please, when you call in, ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio. It's extremely important that you do that so we can avoid feedback, unnecessary interference, so we can actually hear you clearly when you speak. Also, when you call in, please keep it short, keep it simple, keep it constructive. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it constructive. We do not want to go back and forth, and do not condemn or attack anyone else's opinion. It's extremely important that we take that seriously. Do not attack or condemn anybody else's opinion. Just call in, keep it short, keep it simple, keep it constructive as you give your own advice. All right. As always, we give priority to the members of the Adult Conversations family, and we read messages off the Adult Conversations family platform first on WhatsApp. So if you want to join, all you have to do is to send your number and your name and contact number and your name. Send your name and contact number indicating interest in joining the WhatsApp group. Send that information via WhatsApp to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Now let's go straight into messages. Ade from Yaba is our first message tonight. And he's saying, good evening, Cynthia. You didn't do anything wrong by accepting him back. He's the wrong one for taking your kindness for stupidity. If the disrespect continues, You might have to face your fears and start all over. That's Ade from Yaba. Assembly from Ajay saying, good evening, all. There's some things that cannot and must not be swept under the carpet. Did he apologize for impregnating the other lady? Showing remorse for what he did? Or you were the one that was scared going back to apologize? If you were the one that begged him so you won't lose him, I think this is even the time you're going to lose him. Because now he doesn't value you. But if he was the one who came to you to apologize and you accepted him back, then he can't disrespect you because he values you. Don't underrate yourself, my dear sister. Age should not make you do nonsense. Just be wise. Francis from Ibafo saying, good evening to all the Adult Conversations family. Also, good evening to the woman of wisdom, Sumta Titilayo Ajama. Thank you very much for that, Francis. So he says, wow, Cynthia, you did very wrong by accepting a guy whom you know that he impregnated another lady. What kind of love is that? Do you want to marry a man who already has impregnated another lady? My advice for you tonight is that you better let go of that guy and look for another person that will love you for who you are. A broken relationship is far better than a broken marriage. So this coming from A Square Cake and More from Matogo Okiaro. A Square Cakes and More from Matogo Okiaro. She says, good evening, Adult Conversations family. Dear Cynthia, that's a very obvious red flag you're joking with. That guy will definitely be busy with the lady that is pregnant or has a baby for him, or even with another entirely different lady. The earlier you set yourself free, the better for you. A broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. She said, according to personal experience, I have a friend that dated a guy for 8 years without ever getting pregnant. Yet, during their courtship, this guy impregnated two ladies at different times. It was the second time that my friend decided to leave him. Less than a year after letting go of this guy, my friend got married in August 2013, and in September that same year, she took in. She's still happily married. My dear Cynthia, please love with your heart and your head at the same time. Aki from Ashishe in Ogun State is saying, good evening to all the Adult Conversation family members. Cynthia, your destiny is not tied with him. Not all relationships can lead to marriage. Sometimes our heart betrays us. Things don't work out the way we plan. 7 years in relationship and you don't define your destination, where the ship is taking you before you embark on the trip. What are you scared of? A broken relationship is much better than a broken marriage. Be guided and add value to yourself. The right man will locate you. And this is from Akin from Ashishe in Ogun State. Chinaya from Ogba says, good evening all. Cynthia, you might be thinking that the lady is the baby mama. Do your investigations well. They could actually be legitimately married. They could actually, okay, pardon me. Do your investigations well. They could actually be legitimately married. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Just think about it, dear Cynthia, and do the needful. And that's from Chineye from Ogba. Glory from Ojodi Badger says, I sincerely knows I sincerely know how it feels starting afresh after 7 years of imagined future together. And at 30, you're still very beautiful, marketable, fresh. And yes, you will get a man who will desire and value you and will vow to spend his life with you and give you peace. I think it's time that we ladies stop feeling that the older we get, the lesser chances we have in finding a partner. Cynthia, dear, he has done his worst and he will definitely get his reward. So please dust off and move on. The man whom God has ordained for you will soon locate you. So just be positive. And that's from Glory from Ojodu Baja. Talkback from Mikorodu is saying fantastic compliments of the season to the Adult Conversation family on this noble platform. Cynthia, this is one of the dangers inherent in long-time courtships before the nuptial knots are finally tied. To my mind, the moment your boyfriend impregnated another lady was the appropriate time to have called it quits with him. It was a complete betrayal of trust respect, and love. You even notice his disrespectful manner. You even notice his disrespectful manners and attitudes to you, yet you held on to him. He doesn't love you as much as you love him. So this is my candid advice on the matter. You need to pray for and ask for spiritual guidance, lest you take a step that will not engender a peaceful and stable marital status in the nearest future. Okay? Joseph King from Lagos says, Cynthia, leave the guy and move on with your life. This guy has no place in his heart for you. He doesn't love you at all. Do not harbor any form of fear. Just be bold, be strong, break up with him, and move on. Never you entertain anything that will make you still hook on him. If you do, he will keep wasting your time. He will keep enslaving you. You will keep begging him, and he will be in total control of your mind. So break free and let him go. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't value you, and he has no love for you. There are heaps of responsible men out there that are far, far, far better than him. So you deserve the best. So move on, be focused, and never you allow your past to weigh you down. Smile and keep your head up. I assure you that the best will find you, okay? And that's from Joseph King from Lagos. Dami from Aja says, you did wrong. He never respected you from the onset. Let go, Cynthia. Okay, those are a lot of messages coming in from the Adult Conversations family group chat. And I'm so grateful to everyone who has sent messages in so far. So please keep them coming in so that we can give Cynthia the much needed advice that she is in need of tonight. The phone line is open 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. So you can call in or you can send a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Okay, this one is coming in from Comrade who says, were you expecting marriage from your boyfriend before you received him back? How did he beg you to receive him? You did not tell us. You made a mistake. I want to ask like Sumtu, how did you accept him back? Did you beg you? I want to know. Yes, I love the second texter. Now you beg him or Naim beg you, which one? Sumtu is too intelligent, Francis, my brother. This is a boyfriend and girlfriend issue. He did not promise you marriage. That's why he's disrespecting you. Okay, thank you very much. Um, Moses from Ikeja is saying, oh, okay, this is a different message, pardon me. All right. Now, please pardon my voice. It's as a result of the weather, and I'm really trying to control everything going on with my voice right now. So please pardon me as we go on. Now, some things are basic here in the story. Cynthia is 30. She's a teacher. What she does for a profession is not as important as her age in this story tonight. And this is why. She's telling us that her boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another lady last year, but she didn't break up with him. Even if she wanted to, she didn't. And the reason she didn't is because she was scared of starting afresh at almost 30. Now, here's the thing. Cynthia is 30 now. As at last year, when this happened, she was almost 30. And she didn't want to break up with him because she knew that if she had broken up with him then, she would have had to get back into the dating system, the dating market, and she would have had to start afresh, meet somebody new, boy meets girl, and begin the whole scenario and let it play out again from top. But she said she was scared of doing that. So she took him back, and she also took him back because she loved him. And then she comes again and says, however, after that incident, which is when her boyfriend impregnated this other lady, she said, I noticed he doesn't respect me anymore. He hardly calls and he always gives attitude. He hardly calls and he always gives her attitude. So she's asking, did I do wrong by accepting him back then? Please advise me. I think I'm going to go off with the first question that a lot of people have asked tonight. When this happened, first, I would like to ask, How did you find out that he impregnated somebody? Did you just find out? Or did you find out by accident? Or he told you about it? The reason for asking this question is if you found out by accident, that means he did not intend to tell you and you found out. So he was backed into a corner when you found out and he had to own up and tell you. But if he told you from the get go, then that meant that he possibly was remorseful and he wanted you to know about it so that you could move on, so that he could seek your forgiveness and move on. So, how did you find out? Did you find out by accident or did he tell you about it? Even if he told you about it, how how um how far along into the pregnancy of how far along into the pregnancy, yes, did he tell you? Did he tell you when the baby was like 2 months or when the baby was like almost 9 months or 7 months? The reason I'm asking you this is if he told you when the baby was far along into like 7 months, almost 9 months, then that means that he most likely didn't intend to tell you. He possibly just told you, maybe he felt like you were getting close to finding out. So he told you. But if he told you earlier on, when the baby was about 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then that means he told you almost as soon as he found out. And that means that he was trying to guard the whole situation so that you would not find out from anybody else other than him. So, two questions. How did you find out about it? By accident, or did he tell you about it? How far along into the pregnancy did you find out? Whether he told you or you found out. How long into the pregnancy did that happen? Now, on to the next most important question. When you found out, whether by hook or by crook, whether he told you or whether you found out by accident, when you found out, did he seek your forgiveness or did you just forgive him because you didn't want to start afresh? By did he seek your forgiveness, I mean, did you did he beg you? Did he come to you remorseful and really, really, really plead for you to forgive him? Did that happen? Or did he tell you about it and just ghost on you? And then you were the one that had to start begging him, trying to get his attention and let him know that, oh, you don't need to stay away, you don't need to go away, you don't need to act like you've broken up with me. We can walk around it. I forgive you. Was that your approach? And the reason for this is simple. A number of people in the comments have said it all, and I'll just reiterate that. If you were the one who sought him back after this whole thing happened, if you were the one who sought him back, and by that I mean, if after he told you, after you found out, he wasn't remorseful, or he just there was no particular, reaction from him. Maybe he just felt like, okay, now that she knows, I think we're over. Now that she knows, I think we're over. And he just walked away, just waiting for nothing to happen. And then you had to go and start looking for him to be like, my boyfriend, baby, please come back. I forgive you. I know that you made a mistake and all of that. And you're making excuses for him and you're begging him to come back to you. If you did that, then chances are that he would not have all the respect in the world for you anymore. So let us know the answer to some of these questions. And, you know, as we progress in conversation, if you want to ask any question, if you want to contribute, 07000 is the number to call. 07000 And if this has been you before, if you've been in these shoes before, please call in or send in a text so that Cynthia can hear from you. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but your your volume is still a little bit high. Can you turn it down?
All right, I'll do so. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is Emmanuel from Akiode.
Emmanuel, how are you today?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. It's been a while. I hope you're good.
Yes, I'm all right. I'm okay.
Good to hear from you. Thank you very much for calling tonight.
All right. You see what happened? It baffles me that so many ladies in relationship after 1, 2, 3 years, they don't still know their position in their man's life. I mean, it's so surprising. You know, I discovered that this lady loves this guy so much. He loves him so much. And the other way around, the guy might love him as well, but he's taking an advantage of her. And there is something that people should understand as well. Getting a lady pregnant doesn't mean that you must marry that person.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And getting a lady pregnant, that doesn't mean that you must get married to that same person. You understand? Because it's all about friendship, it's all about relationship. So what I want her to do is just that she should take her time. Let her take her time at this moment and try to find out what does she really want and what does this guy want as well. They should sit down and discuss what do they really want. I mean, 7 days.
Are you still there, Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm still there. You understand? Let her just take her time and find out what she really wants, and find out what does that guy want from her. Then she should decide from there.
Okay. So let me ask you a question,
You understand?
Emmanuel. Yes, I understand. Let me just ask you a follow-up question. So if she... Okay, so Emmanuel, the question I wanted to ask is if she sits him down and they talk, and he lets her know that he still wants to marry her, or he wants to marry her. I rephrase that because if they haven't spoken about marriage before, then I can't say he still wants to, because that means he hasn't even talked about it before. But if they've spoken about it, then you can say he still wants to marry her. So if they discuss and he says he wants to marry her, or he still wants to marry her, does that mean that she needs to just now accept this current situation of things because he says that he wants to marry her? Now, this is the reason I ask this. Even if he says he wants to marry her and she says, oh, okay, she understands and takes that information and, internalizes it, does that mean that she has to put up with the fact that he hardly calls? He's giving her attitude. He doesn't particularly respect her anymore. Will that change when a ring is involved? Will that change when a ring is involved? Will that change if they get married? So isn't it important to know why this is even happening in the first place? Why he seemingly has lost respect for her? Isn't it important to go back to the drawing board and actually try to figure out why this is happening? According to Cynthia, she can trace this back to after she accepted him back, after the news about the baby. She can trace this disrespect, in quotes, to after she accepted him back. Now, if she can trace it back then, will it change if he proposes to her or he puts a ring on her finger? Will he suddenly now become more attentive, more respectful, start calling, be more romantic like he was before the baby, before, the betrayal of trust? Will a ring change any of that? Hello, good evening. Good evening,
Hello?
Mr. Darlington.
No, you're Darlington. I'm comrade.
Comrade, good evening. How are you today, sir?
Mr. Darlington friend. I'm comrade, Mr. Darlington friend.
Thank you for calling. Yes.
My pastor told me, psychologically, if you watch relationship with 6 months, there is no amount of hiding from the man or from the woman. After 6 months, for you to know a person who you say you go marry.
Let me tell you something. The first caller, Emmanuel, I support him because this girl don't love this man. This man now have psychologically think or thought out that the lady doesn't have any other option. That's why he's not disrespecting her. So my advice is to her is that she should be good and face her life because my mama dey tell me say in no like management marriage or scary marriage or fearful marriage. They never married this guy. This guy have already started being afraid and scary, which the man can use into they play football and cricket. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
So she should go ahead with her life. Some people never marry at the age of 37 now. They are not easy. In short, if I never marry, I was make I come marry myself. Because everything they like is that 37, 40 years. Because I married at the age of 22 after she pregnant her for 15 years while they teach her English and history until she entered 22, 2015. I married her. I was make I come marry her. It's not too late. Thank you very much.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you. It's interesting because comrade is making the point about managing, and he's also saying the fact that she knew about the baby and the fact that the guy thinks that she doesn't have any other option is the reason he possibly is acting this way. So he can tell that she loves him, and he can also tell that she doesn't want to begin again. Sometimes the way a woman's intuition is wired is to a large extent how she even figures that, oh, okay, he doesn't even respect me anymore. She has noticed all these things. And her intuition is telling her that, oh, this is probably because of, the fact that she took him back before then. But at the same time, the guy already also figures that if she can take me back after what happened, then she possibly loves me so much that she can take anything at this point. And the only thing that can make a man think that way, or at least maybe not, maybe I shouldn't generalize. The only thing that will make most men think that way is if you're the kind of person who has said before that, oh, or you're the kind of person whose general personality, or you're the kind of person who doesn't accept certain things, you know? You're the kind of person that has possibly said before that I will never take this kind of thing. I'm not the kind of woman that would take a man back when he has cheated on me and all of that. And then the man possibly did this, and that's why I asked, how did you find out? Because if he did it and he didn't tell you, you just found out by accident, then it adds to the fact that he didn't want to tell you because he felt like you were going to break up with him, only for you to find out and then not break up with him. So to an extent, that solidifies in his heart the fact that, oh, I thought she was the kind of person that we would be over after this, which is why I didn't want to tell her. But now she has found out. Not only has she found out, maybe she was the one begging me, and now we're back together. And I'm just looking at her, I'm wondering, look at you. So, and this, I'm just putting this out there as a possibility if she found out by accident, and if he's thinking that she doesn't have any other options and that's why she's staying with him. And if she's also the kind of person who has possibly said before that I will never stay with a man who cheats on me or who breaks my heart or who betrays my trust. So if you've said all these things before, only to end up doing the things that you said you would not do, and staying with a man that you possibly said that you would never stay with after a certain thing that he has done, then he possibly has lost respect for you because of that. So, yes, thank you very much, comrade. Coming back to the story, it's bewildering to see that 7 years is the time of this relationship. 7 years is the duration of this relationship. Okay, this is a message coming from Uche from Ogundele. He said, please, what's the age difference between the guy and the lady? Okay, we don't know. We don't know, Uche, because Cynthia didn't tell us. She just says she's 30, she's a teacher. She didn't tell us the age difference between him, her boyfriend, and her. She didn't tell us that, so we don't know. But Cynthia, if you're listening, please, Uche wants to know the age difference between you and your boyfriend. He wants to know. All right. So this one is a message coming in from Austin from Moe. Austin says, "Good evening, Cynthia. Your question is it wrong by accepting him? The result shows you that you're wrong. Because if not so, he will not act strange to you. See, Sister Cynthia, there's a man for every woman and a woman for every man. So if you're not with the right one, which is to be yours, definitely there must be separation. So please don't look down on yourself because of age. Get yourself into something else. By the way, answer this question. Will you first hmm, will you change after marrying and will you marry a guy that has a child already? I think that's what he's basically trying to ask. That question was very, very hard to explain, but yes, I think that's what he's trying to ask. Okay, so thank you very much, Austin from Way. Now, going back to the story, it's imperative that we see the duration of time that they've been in this relationship. So Cynthia is 30 now. She's been in this relationship for 7 years. So she's been in this relationship since she was 23. Now, it would be nice to know if they've discussed marriage. It would be nice to know if they were looking forward to marriage. And by that, I mean, had he proposed to you? Has he met your family? You know, what level were you in your relationship before this happened? Before last year when he impregnated this other lady? What level were you in your relationship? The reason I ask this is because if you were not at the point of talking about marriage, or at least no concrete plans had been made, he had not proposed to you, nothing along those lines, then he will possibly be feeling like, oh, all these years down the line, and she's not even, um, or how do I put it now? If he has not spoken to you about marriage or you've not talked about marriage, then it on some level gives him that confidence to be able to do whatever he wants to do because to him he hasn't committed to you. This is not to say that if he has proposed he cannot still cheat, but to an extent, if he has proposed to you, that means he knows that you guys are heading for marriage. And on some level, I think that that would give him a more steady hand when it comes to his relationship and how serious he takes it. So that's what I mean. That's why I'm asking that. So another question that I would like to ask is when you found out about the pregnancy, when you found out about the pregnancy that, happened with the other lady that he impregnated last year, how did you handle the situation? How did you handle it? You know, did you walk away at first and then later come back to tell him that, okay, I forgive you and I take you back? Did he seek your forgiveness? Because all these questions I'm asking is if he asked you for forgiveness and you were blocking him, you didn't want to talk to him, he really tried, he came to your place, begged you a number of times, and you said no, we're done, we're over. But he continued to beg, and then eventually, after he got over the hurt and the fact that you thought about the fact that, oh, you cannot keep starting afresh or you cannot start afresh again, you went back to him. If he sought your forgiveness, then on that level, he, as a man, would be very, very understanding of how far he has hurt you, how much he has hurt you. There will be so much remorse in his heart that is not just coming from a place of, oh, I did this to this person, I cheated on this person. It's also coming from a place of, I respect you enough to go out of my way to put in all this effort to ask for your forgiveness and to ask that we continue this relationship. So not only is it from a place of remorse, it's also coming from a place of love and respect. But if he ghosted on you after you found out or after he told you, if he ended things after he told you, thinking that maybe you're the kind of person that will not take it, that will not stay, and he just told you, you know what, I know our relationship is over at this point, but I wanted to just let you know this. I know you're going to break up with me, but I felt like I owed you this information. I've impregnated somebody and I'm so sorry about it. and I understand that we're not together anymore because of this, because you have said before that you will never stay with a man who has cheated on you. So I know we're over, but I just want to tell you, if that was the way he told you, and then he ended things and he walked away, then you are now the one who went to meet him and say, baby, I know I said I was going to break up if I ever found out that you cheated on me or that you impregnated somebody else. But to err is human, to forgive is divine. I excuse you. I know you didn't mean it. Maybe we're having issues, and then you just stepped out, and she was there to give you comfort, and then you just impregnated her. If you were the one who did that, then on some level, number one, he's not he's not putting in any effort at that point. So it will be so tricky for him to still have the same respect he had for you before after this. So that's what I mean. All right. So comment says to comment on what I said about you can dictate a marriage material in 6 months of relationship. What do you say? We've had this conversation before. We've talked about this on Adult Conversation several times. That after 1 year of relationship, after 1 year of dating, to a large extent, a lot of people already know what it is that they want. A lot of people already know what it is that they want. They are probably just waiting to propose or waiting for a certain number of things to click before they propose. They already know that, oh, I like this person, I want to marry them. And if they're confused, maybe in a year, 6 months, before the end of 2 years, they already know that, okay, this is a person I want to be with. This applies to most relationships. A lot of the times, relationships that span up to 7 years, 10 years, it's possible that they started out very young and they had so many things to figure out as they grew up. So in the course of growing up, time passed from 1 year, 2 years into 8 years, 10 years, you know, from 23 to 33. So that's usually what happens. And that may or may not have been the case here. But the point remains that it's important to know how you found out and how you eventually ended up going back to him. 2 minutes to 10 on Your Women Radio WFM 91.7. Tonight, we're profiling the story of Cynthia. Cynthia is 30, she's a teacher. She is telling us tonight that her boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another lady last year, but didn't break up with him. But she didn't break up with him because she was so scared of starting afresh at almost 30. And she said, I didn't break up with him because I love him. Now, fast forward after the incident, Cynthia says, I notice he doesn't respect me anymore. He hardly calls and always gives attitude. Did I do wrong by accepting him back then? Please advise me. The number to call is 07000 917 917. Again, 07000 917 917. You can send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Something that just jumped at me as I read this message now is a text that somebody sent earlier. One of the comments that someone said earlier. She said, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but you might be thinking that the lady is a baby mama. Do your investigations well. They could be legitimately married. Now, this is from Chineye from Ogba. Now, I'm not even thinking he's legitimately married, but at this point, if he doesn't call and he's giving you attitude, maybe you hardly see him anymore. It might point out to the fact that he's spending more time with this baby mama. And it might also point to the fact that he's possibly secretly married to this person. So you might need to do your investigation. Do we think this is a valid point? Do we think that there might be something serious going on with this other woman aside from the fact that she's pregnant with Cynthia's boyfriend rather? Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Ademi Oluwasegun calling from Lambert, Ogun State.
Oluwasegun from Lambert. Thank you for calling. Are you a first time caller?
Yeah. So
Thank
what
you.
there is that my best advice for her is that she should just take patience, have patience, because the patient dog is the fastest goat.
Okay.
Hello.
What does having patience mean specifically? Oluwasegun, are you there? Okay, please call back. It's you have me stuck in limbo now, Oluwasegun. You have me stuck somewhere in between. You have me hanging now. And this is because I don't know where your train of thought was headed. I don't know where your train of thought was headed. Are you saying that she should have patience to figure out why he doesn't respect her anymore? Or to figure out what his relationship with this woman is? What exactly is the reason that she should have patience at this point? Because everyone needs to know. Cynthia herself needs to know. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, I'm Vincent from Magboro.
Tell me your name again, please.
I'm Vincent from Magboro.
Vincent from Magboro. Vincent, are you a first time caller?
Not at all, but you do not welcome me, sir.
I did not. Hey, pardon me, my brother. Vincent, it is well with you. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to advise her. She better decide on her own, not to wait for the guy, because we don't know what to come up. The guy might change his mind at any time, and as of that time, the way as time is going on, yeah, is counting. So we should better. I would like to advise her to start another relationship. At the special grace of God, He will meet a good person for her to marry.
So you're saying that she should take her time to really look at everything and assess the situation properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Thank you for calling.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's Vincent from Magboro saying that she needs to, take a step back and really assess the situation, know where she stands, and be able to take her own decision from everything that has happened so far. If she is intuitive enough to tell that he doesn't accord her any respect anymore, he doesn't treat her with all the love and respect that he used to treat her before, if she can notice that, then obviously she can take some time out to actually notice other things that can point to the fact that he wants the relationship or he doesn't want the relationship. And whatever it is that she finds out would be, to a large extent, a big determinant of what her next move would be. So thank you very much for that, Vincent. This is a comment from the live video from Amothande Williams, who says, before accepting anyone back into relationship, please take your time to study his behavior. Please take your time to study his behavior because change is constant. Check medicals too, because it's important. That is so imperative, to check medicals, because you don't know, who he's been with, where he's been with. You only know that he impregnated one person. You don't know if he's been with other people, and you only found out about this one person. Now, this also brings me to the next question about, do you know if he has cheated on you before, apart from this fact that he impregnated somebody? Because if he has stepped out of a relationship before and you took him back, he now impregnated this one person and you took him back, that makes 2 times that he has betrayed your trust and you took him back. So to him, he's possibly thinking, you know what, I can do anything at this point and she'll still take me back. So this may point to another reason why he has lost respect for you. The number still to call is 07000 917 917 or 7917 917. As you call in, please ensure that you turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it down so low so that we do not hear any feedback and we can avoid any sort of interference so we can hear you very, very clearly. Also, when you call in, please don't waste too much time on the phone. Let's just get to the advice bit so that you can say your advice. If there are any questions I need to ask, I can ask you and we can have a smooth flow of conversation. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it constructive. Please do not condemn or accuse or attack anyone else's opinion. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for
Hello,
calling. What's your name?
David.
David.
Good evening.
Hello,
Hello,
David.
this is
What's your name, please?
Deji.
Hello, Deji. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes, I'm calling from Ogun State, Olambe.
Olambe. All right, Deji, are you a first time
Yes,
caller?
yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Deji, very quickly, talk to me about what your advice is to Cynthia. What do you think she should do at this point? Do you think she's right for taking him back, or do you think she's wrong for taking him back?
She's wrong for taking it back. She's wrong. Because why I said that is if they get married, if they still do the same things over and over again, and that time it will be too late for her to decide. Now this is the right time for her to decide.
Hmm.
That's all I can say.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you very much, Deji.
Uh,
Okay, Deji went straight to the point, telling us that even if they get married, Cynthia's boyfriend, well, in that case, then husband, would still do what he's doing right now. He will possibly still cheat on her, and he will most likely still continue to disrespect her. He's saying this because if he's doing it now and she's accepting it, he's saying that he most likely will continue to do it even after marriage. So he's saying now is a better time to walk away than after marriage. So thank you very much for that, DG. Okay, so very quickly, let me take some messages off of the WhatsApp, Facebook rather. Let me take some messages off of Facebook. This one coming in from Okereke to Chuku Nelson John said, and you believe he could be trusted again. Madam, please leave him and start life afresh. What you have for him is not love, is inferiority complex of no other option than to settle for less. The fact that he impregnated another lady means he had been on it for a long time, and you think he won't cheat again? Please start anew. Please, it's better to start anew than to start in a union that you will leave to regret. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello, are you there? Hello, good evening. Are you there? Hello? Okay, please call back if you can. Going back to the messages on Facebook, this one is coming from Benjaz, who said, Cynthia, you decided to put yourself in jeopardy by staying with him after he got another lady pregnant. You saw the handwriting on the wall, but you dedicated more of your precious time and energy into a dead relationship. The conclusion, break up with him this night and don't even allow it to pass this night. Only then will the right man come into your life. Because he is a wall of Jericho blocking serious men to locate you. Oluwagbemiga Joshua Babalowedowu says, you've seen the red light. You're in a forced relationship. That guy is gone, so move on. Eriko Victor Abodorin says, fear of starting all over may jeopardize your future. God can redeem time for you, only if you do the needful. The guy now sees you as an option. So reject to be an option, by quitting now. Make Agua says, you caused the disrespect yourself by not leaving. Okay. The other comments sound very harsh and very judgmental, so I'm not going to read those ones. Please, when you send in comments, make sure that you're compassionate, respectful, and empathetic as well. Comrade said, yes, he may be giving time to his baby mama. Patience no deal. Uche from Ogundele says, let Cynthia move on with her life. For the guy that impregnated another girl means he now shares 3 responsibilities, which are the baby, the mother, and Cynthia herself. The greatest mistake Cynthia will make is marrying him or continuing this relationship with this man. Thank God they are not married. It's just a relationship. So Cynthia should move on with her life now. Okay, so more people are tilting to the fact that it's better to leave now than to stay in this relationship. A lot of people in the comments earlier said a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. A broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. Now, we always say that here on Adult Conversations because it's true. It's better if your heart breaks if you're in a relationship and if you find out something or some things about your partner that end the relationship, rather than finding out those things about your partner in marriage where you've already sworn to stay with them forever, for better, for worse, and you possibly already have children for them. In such cases, yes, you can still leave. You can still leave, you can still file for a divorce, but it makes things extra complicated. It makes things extra complicated. And all of that would not have happened had you ended the relationship before it got to the point of marriage. 13 minutes past the hour of 10 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is still Adult Conversations, where we share real life issues and we discuss matters relating to the heart. Tonight we're profiling Cynthia's story. Cynthia is telling us, I'm 30, I'm a teacher. My boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another lady last year, but I didn't break up with him because I was scared of starting afresh at almost 30 and I love him. However, after that incident, I noticed he doesn't respect me anymore. He hardly calls and is always giving attitude. Did I do wrong by accepting him back then? Please advise me.
Hello, good evening, Tonto.
Hello, Chichi. Good evening. How are you?
How was your day?
My day was good. Thank you so much. How about you?
Merry Christmas in advance.
Merry Christmas in advance. Yes.
Yeah. Please, I didn't follow you guys. Please quickly brief me on the topic.
Okay, so this is the story, yeah? Cynthia is 30. She's a teacher. Her boyfriend of 7 years impregnated another woman last year. And she didn't break up with him because she didn't want to start afresh when she was almost 30. And she also said the reason she didn't break up with him is also because she loves him. And now, fast forward after that incident, they are still together. But Cynthia is saying that she has noticed since she took him back that he doesn't respect her anymore. He hardly calls and he gives her attitude. So she's saying that, did I do wrong by accepting him back then when he cheated and he impregnated somebody else? Did I do wrong by accepting him back then? So she's saying that's where she needs our advice.
My advice to her is very simple. You can see the handwriting on the wall. Someone who you are in relationship with, you got another woman pregnant. The moment I hear it and it's true, that's how we run. That's it. Run for 40. What are you still waiting for? This guy did not love Cynthia. So do you understand me?
Yes, I understand.
Because if he did, you will after everything, you see him and he's behaving this way. You don't know how you can open his mouth and tell you, I'm tired of you, Cynthia. Just move on. Forget your age. It's better because thank God that people are not even married together. What if people are married together and this will come up? How will you cope? One thing you will know in this life, that don't marry out of pity.
Mm.
And another thing is when you show men that you love them too much, that guy has not that love him. That is it. Even if you love someone, you don't have to show him that I can't do without you. That is one thing. Not all the men, but some of them that they understand. So don't marry out of pity. That is the worst thing someone will do. Move on with your life. Fast.
So, Chichi, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. So, if he impregnated somebody else, but he came to Cynthia and he really begged her, he told her about it, he begged her that she should not leave him, that he's sorry, it will never happen again, would you still advise Cynthia to leave him?
But it is not like that. You can see what Cynthia said in this.
Yes, I hear you. I understand that that's the story.
Okay.
But I'm asking that if...
The thing is, one, I would take it very well, because if he begged you, fine and good. What about the baby and the mother? You know what you cannot start, so don't what you cannot finish, don't start it.
Okay.
If it's okay, no problem, I've accepted. What about the baby? He will still be going back. It's the blood though, flesh and blood. So that is it.
I see your point.
You can't throw the baby away.
Yes.
So,
Chichi, thank you so much.
He said, no, we are not fighting. We said so, no problem. No. He said no.
Thank you so much, Chichi. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Good night.
So, Chichi made two valid points there. She mentioned the fact that as soon as you found out about the fact that he had impregnated this person, it would have been better off for you to have left the relationship at the time. She also said the fact that you show him that you love him a lot is the reason he's possibly acting this way. Because now he can tell that he can do anything that he wants. And for him to have done something this extreme and you still took him back means that he possibly now has the license to do anything he wants to do and you will still take him back. So when I asked that question about if he showed remorse, would you still take him back? She said, whether or not you apologized after that act, the point remains that baby and that baby mama are continuously in his life. So what now becomes of them? They become a part of his life, and that complicates things. So she's saying it will still be a no-no for her. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Turn down the volume of your radio.
Okay.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
No.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hello.
Now you've done that. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah.
Tell
Good
me your
evening.
name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Davina calling from Badagry.
Davina. Is your name Davina? Hello? Oh, okay. Please call back if you can. Call back if you can so we can actually discuss. So at this point, Cynthia is at that point where she doesn't really know what to do. She loves this man so much, and she possibly wants to spend the rest of her life with him because of all the experiences that they've shared, because of all the history that they have, how amazing he is, all of that good stuff. But she also cannot alienate the fact that this man has a baby somewhere on the way and has another woman who is the mother of this child somewhere. And now to add to the fact that there's a baby and a baby mama somewhere, there's no love in this marriage and in this union anymore, in this relationship anymore. Let me call it what it is. There's no respect in this relationship anymore. A lot of people think that you can have love, but you can't have respect. Or you can have respect, but you can't have love. But to a large extent, you cannot have love if you don't have respect for the person. You can't claim to love somebody you don't respect. It doesn't tally. It doesn't tally. So if Cynthia is feeling unrespected, if she's feeling this huge lack of respect coming from this man, that's her boyfriend, is that an indication for her to leave? Is that an indication that she made the wrong choice by accepting him back after he cheated and impregnated somebody else? Okay, please call back. So, how, excuse me, what else does Cynthia need to see in this relationship for her to feel like, okay, this is it for me? Is there anything else that Cynthia needs to see? Is there a stretch of time that she can spend here before she finally figures that, okay, I'm staying or I'm leaving? Hello, good evening. Hello? Hello? Please call back. Please call back. Please call back when you can, all right? Now, Cynthia is at the point where she needs to know if it makes sense for her to leave this relationship. She needs to know if she did the right thing by accepting him back after he cheated on her the first time. Now, I'm going to read some messages off of the WhatsApp group chat. Some messages stood out to me when I was reading them earlier. So, this one about the fact that this one from Glory from Ujodi Badger says, I sincerely know how it feels starting afresh after 7 years of imagined future together. At 30, you're still beautiful, marketable, fresh. And yes, you'll get a man who will desire you. And she goes on to say, I think it's time we ladies stop feeling that the older we get, the lesser chances we have in finding a partner. Now, this age factor is the biggest reason that Cynthia stayed with this man. This age factor is the biggest reason that Cynthia decided that I don't want to have to begin again. I don't want to have to go into the dating market and start meeting random people. I'm too grown for that. I don't have the energy to start going on dates. I don't want to start afresh anymore. I'm 30. I'm at that point where I should have been married with maybe a child. And all this is no thanks to society's standards. No thanks to society's standards. Now, it's situations like this that make you wonder, does it really make sense for you to say, oh, when a woman approaches 30, she's getting too old or married, or she's staying too long as a single person? It's situations like this that make you think that, okay, you know what? Everybody's situation is different. And society should not put this much pressure on women to get married before the age of 30. Because just look at it from the perspective of Cynthia right now. She's 30. Her boyfriend has cheated on her. Boyfriend of 7 years has not just cheated on her, but got another woman pregnant in the process. Now, according to society, because she's 30, she has a man. At least she has a man. That's what some people will even say to start with. That, oh, at least you have a man. She's 30, and people will say, at least you have a man. So because of small cheating he did and impregnated someone, you now say you want to leave. So society will encourage women to condone certain acts because they have put that timeline on a woman, saying that when you're approaching 30 or you're in your early 30s, you're already at that point where if you're not married, you're old cargo. Which is wrong. Which is absolutely wrong. So do we think that Cynthia still needs to be in this circle where she thinks that she doesn't want to start afresh and that's why she stays? Or do we think that she needs to break out of this and look for greener pastures out there and, regain her self-respect outside of this relationship? Hello, good evening.
Hello, Santo, please, I want to add something. Do you know that, quickly, please?
Okay.
Do you know that if that guy did not love Cynthia, sorry to say it, because for the 7 years of relationship, let's say maybe Cynthia is around 23 or 24 then, when they start the relationship. And instead of him to plan how they will get married or do one or two things, he go and get another woman pregnant. No, we should take it very well. You understand me?
Mm.
Some of you to plan how you, for the 7 years of relationship, plan how you will marry Cynthia. You can get another woman. You now have interest. See, woman don't suffer. You have interest in another person. You now can get another person pregnant and come and beg me. I should accept you. Before I know it, you will now go and see your baby mama and decide. You can't throw your side away, but I cannot do. You understand me, so let us be sincere. 7 good years, you waste that girl years, and you start again. So you should forget about the age. There is where God does things. That is it. Good night.
Thank you, Chichi. Thank you so much. Very interesting point there. Chichi is stating that he possibly never really loved her, because if he did, particularly since they started dating 7 years ago, when Cynthia, that he would have tailored all his energy towards building a future for them, getting married to her, and building a family with her, rather than getting to the point where he cheats on her, gets somebody else pregnant, and now starts losing respect for her after she takes him back, after that indiscretion. So Chichi's saying, I don't think he really loved her. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name?
This is Davina from Badagry.
Davina from Badagry. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome. So my little advice for Cynthia is she should just move ahead, leave that guy alone, and move ahead. She shouldn't be scared of her age. She should move ahead.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I'm with
She
you.
should
I'm with
just
you,
leave the
Davina.
guy and move ahead. She shouldn't be scared of her age. She'll get a better person.
So you're saying this because she said she doesn't want to start afresh, right?
Sorry?
You're saying this because she said that she doesn't want to start afresh. So you're encouraging her to leave, forget about the age, that she'll find somebody else that's better for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Davina. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Davina is saying 30 it's not a bad age. You know, she's saying that forget about the age. Age is just a number. Forget about that. You can still find somebody else can still find you, and you will still make a good life with that person. Don't tolerate this. Leave this relationship. And that's what Davina is saying. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Sister Tochi.
Good evening. I'm Somto, but thank you.
Okay, something. Sorry.
That's okay. What's your name?
Yeah, I'm Vincent again.
Okay, Vincent.
I would like to talk more about. If happen, I'm ready to marry. I will say, let me marry her. The situation that he will be thinking about her age, that she can't go back again to start a relationship. That is wrong. She don't know a plan that God is planning for her. If happen, the guy loves her very well, she won't say she should go and have another relationship and get the other lady pregnant. And there is something that is happening. What you don't want, that is good. What you don't like another person to do to you, why will you do to another person? If happen is the girl that did that to him, will he like it? So I would like to advise Cynthia to go back again and start another relationship. By the special grace of God, he meet his own. He may even enjoy it than the one that he is even looking up to. That's my advice, ma.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Thank you for calling.
Yes, ma.
Okay, so Vincent is saying, forget about the age. This age is like the last of your problems right now. This man doesn't respect you. He doesn't love you. He's acting a certain way. And at this point, he's saying that if he was ready to marry, he's even saying that he will marry you. And he's saying you don't have to settle. You can leave this relationship and start another one with somebody else who values you, somebody who really respects you, somebody who takes you seriously, and somebody who makes you feel loved. Hello, good evening.
Santo, good evening.
Good evening, Dick and Ben.
Yeah, good evening. Merry Christmas in advance.
Same to you. How are you today?
Think I'm good.
Okay, great. Great to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Santo,
Yes, please.
there is this angle to this
Story.
story that I want us to explore. So we are looking at all perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Can we also look at this angle that I'm going to, relate now?
Okay.
Yes. Could you? I need us to look at the possibility that there might be some medical issues with the lady, although she has not told us this. Why am I saying this? For 7 years, there was no proposal. I'm going to marry you. And there was, she was not even a baby mama, so to speak. Even though she might just be careful and not want to be a baby mama, okay?
Exactly.
Now, yes, now that she's 30 years. And I am also looking at why would the guy begin to treat her like a nobody? And why would Cynthia, readily accept, the story that somebody has gotten somebody else impregnated, your boyfriend for 7 years, and there was no serious reaction from you to say that, okay, fine, I'm not happy about this. So did the guy come begging? What did you do to tell the guy that what he has done is not acceptable? Did you do any of those? So this is where I am looking at the angle that could there be any medical problem with Cynthia? That's number one. I want us to look at the possibility that, okay, this is adult conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to say the way it is. If it is possible that she has gotten pregnant within these 7 years of their relationship, is it possible? If it is not possible, what is it? Why is it that way? So,
I don't fully understand your question. Are you saying that if she has not gotten pregnant in the 7 years that they've been together, that there's a medical problem with her? Or that there could be a medical problem with her?
no, what I'm saying, Santo, I'm saying within 7 years that they have been together,
Mm-hmm.
is it possible that the lady has gotten pregnant 1 or 2 times? At least to prove her fertility. Do you know what I'm saying? This? I'm just looking at the possibility. I'm just looking at the reason why the lady will jump up and accept the guy. It's like
Ben, I understand
fine.
your point, but you've not quite driven it home. I'm guessing that what you mean is if she has gotten pregnant for him before and maybe terminated the pregnancies. So maybe she developed a certain medical condition and maybe she can't have children anymore. Or maybe she can only have maybe she only has a certain number of years to have children or something. Maybe that's what you're trying to say, which is why you're saying that maybe because of this reason is why she most likely stayed with this guy, because she knows what she has been through with him rather than start afresh. Is that what you're trying to say? I just need to clarify.
You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct, something.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So if that is the reason, so can we now know why the lady is desperate to hang on? Are you getting it now?
Yes, of
and
course.
This is the guy that is giving you all manner of attitude. And you still want to hang on. You are 30 years. Who says at even 35 or 40, you can't get married and have children? So I'm just trying to, in fact, I'm trying to fix it. Why you be desperate to hang on a particular person that has done this? So, is there any, I mean, what exactly is the reason for that?
Well, there are lots of scenarios that could be responsible for this. And some of them, in fact, a good amount of them may not be linked to any medical condition. It could just be simply as she said. I agree with you that on some level, maybe there's more to the story than meets the eye, according to what she has told us. And
Yeah.
then, of course, it won't be new for us here on Adult Conversations for us to, sense somewhere in between that maybe there's some loopholes that are not filled. But at the same time, regardless of whether there is a medical condition or not, it's still shocking that she went back to him after this whole scenario. And
That's right.
you mentioned the fact that did she make him, what did she do after she found out to make him understand that it wasn't acceptable? Now, I asked this question earlier, and of course I didn't get any response. But the reason I asked is because, and even in the text messages, in the comments on WhatsApp, this question was asked: that did you beg him to come back to you, or did he beg you to take him back? Because if he begged you to take him back, then that means he was remorseful. Remorse usually comes from a place of love and respect. But if he wasn't remorseful, and maybe he just told you that, okay, you know what? I know you've said before that if I ever get anybody pregnant, I'm going to end the relationship. I just want to let you know that now I've gotten somebody pregnant. So now officially we're over. And then he walks away. And you rethink it and be like, hey, this man has left me, or I'm 30, what am I going to do? You now go and meet him and start begging that, oh, baby, I know, to err is human, to forgive is divine. You made a mistake. Let's just forget it and move on. If this was the other scenario that happened, then that might link to the fact that this might be the reason why he doesn't respect her anymore.
Absolutely. Now, finally, I need to advise her.
Yes, please.
Cynthia.
Yes, please.
I need her to investigate that relationship very deep. I need her to investigate it. If you can't do it yourself, let people assist you to investigate the relationship between that your boyfriend
and the
baby mama. Yes, investigate very well. And if nothing is coming out of it, my dear, I think it's time for you to move on. 30 years is not. What are you saying? You are still young, Anaja. You can still, get somebody much more better than that man, except you are under spell. Yes, except you under spell that without that man you can't live. That is the only way you act that way. Okay? Good, my dear.
Thank you so much, Kimben. Thank you for calling. Whew. Okay, new perspective from Kimben. And he's saying there possibly might be a medical condition that Cynthia has that is making her fearful of starting a new relationship with somebody else at this age. It's not new for us to hear that couples that have stayed so long in courtship have had mishaps here and there. Some of these mishaps might include termination of pregnancies that could have had an adverse effect on the womb of this woman, on whether or not she can have babies. Now, this is not to say that this is what's happening to Cynthia, but this is another of the scenarios that we have to profile, another of the scenarios that we cannot ignore in the course of discussing this story tonight. He makes a good point by saying, if there's no such scenario, if you're not infertile because of maybe pregnancy or pregnancies that you terminated, if there's no medical condition that you gained thanks to STIs that you probably received from the guy in the course of the relationship, if he had cheated on you before, if there's no medical condition whatsoever, he's saying that he cannot fully understand why it is that you would go back into a relationship with someone who cheated on you, betrayed your trust, got another woman pregnant. So he's saying if you think that there's nowhere else to go outside of this man, then he's saying there's possibly a medical condition. He's also saying that you're still young. You're still young. You're still agile. You're still youthful. He doesn't see the need for you to keep all your eggs in this basket with this man who obviously doesn't love or respect you. Hello? Okay. Message coming in. Okay, let me take this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Georgina calling back.
Okay, very quickly, Davina, because you've called before.
Please, what I'm trying to say here is she's just looking at the 7 years she has wasted with that guy. And she's been intimidated by her age. That's why she's still trying to keep the relationship going on.
Yes, that's what she said.
All right, thank you.
That's what she said. Thank you, Davina. Thank you so much. Yeah, Davina just pointed out the fact that Cynthia is being intimidated by her age, and she's looking at it from the perspective of, oh, I'm 30. Where do I start from? I've spent 7 years with this man. Where do we begin again? How do I begin again with somebody else? And that's Davina's point. And Cynthia actually said this earlier in the story, that she was scared of starting afresh, which is why she stayed with him, and also because she loved him. So yes, thank you very much, Davina. Okay, this one is coming from Idris from Akute in Ogun State. He said, cheating, not cheating. Oh. It's a tricky mind game situation here. It's a 7-year relationship. Oh. I'll solemnly advise her to notice what she really wants after the acceptance cruise. She should move on with her life because nobody will know fit to make her more. This life now one. And opportunities know they go well with everybody, my sister. Because she could always remember that background every day of her life. Love now, looking on the verges of constant experiences. No more love when respect no day. Idris, my guy. So many points from this one text message. But he's basically saying that she needs to know what she wants after this. She needs to know what she wants. He also says she needs to move on because this life now one, only one. So if she puts all her eggs in this one basket and she goes on with this and this ends up in marriage and he continues to act this way, then there's nothing she can do at that point except she wants to divorce him. So he's saying no more love when respect no D. And I did mention this earlier when I said that there's no love without respect. There's really no love without respect. You cannot claim to love someone and not respect their opinions, not respect their feelings, not respect their beliefs, not respect anything that has to do with them, not respect them as a person. So you can't say you love somebody and you lose all respect for them. Then that simply means that you don't love them. Okay, this one is coming from Francis from Ibafu, who says, another question Cynthia needs to ask herself is that if she eventually narrates all this story to her parents, what will be their response or reaction? I'm sure her parents will not subscribe to her marrying the guy again. 7 years of marriage, no positive result, rather than negative results. Okay, so they're not married, Francis. So I think what you mean to say is 7 years of relationship, no positive result. So yes, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Okay, so we're getting closer to the end of the show. This is 26 minutes to 11 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. We're getting closer to the end of the program today, and we have made so many salient points. So many schools of thoughts have been put down today. I think the most important thing is a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. It has been said several times that Cynthia is still young, so she can actually begin again. The fear of starting afresh, to a large extent, is was what has been said today that is mostly responsible for Cynthia's wanting to stay with this man. We've also said that if she can take this now, then she most likely will have to take this after she gets married to this man. So there's most people are saying you didn't do wrong by taking him back. Then another set of people are saying you did wrong by taking him back, because if you had quit the relationship then, he won't feel the need to continue to be in a relationship with this other woman or even accommodate the presence of this other woman, which may or may not be directly linked to the fact that he's losing respect for you. Another set of people said, you need to really, really find out the nature of his relationship with this woman. Is she really just his baby mama? Or is she married to this man in secret? Or is she his other girlfriend? Because she may not be married to him, but she may be dating him. She may be in a serious relationship with him. And, somehow that just led to pregnancy. It will shock you that you've been in this relationship with this man for 7 years. And this other baby mama has been in a relationship with him for 3 years or 2 years. So it could be a serious thing. And if it's a serious thing, then to a large extent, I don't think that's where you want to be in. You don't want to get into a marriage with somebody you know that has somebody else that shares their heart along with you. Now, not only does this other person share their heart along with you, this other person gets all their good parts, because it seems like your time has expired and this other person is the latest rave. He's spending all his time with this person and coming home and giving you attitude and not giving you proper respect in the union, in the relationship. So to a large extent, it's being said in the comments that Cynthia should try to find out what's responsible. I mean, what the nature of this relationship with this woman is. Another school of thought in the comments was the fact that um, you're not too old to leave. You're not too old to leave. If you leave now, chances are that you will find somebody else that will love you and you eventually even get married early. So, for the most part, these are all the schools of thoughts on the story tonight. And as some people said, you saw the handwriting on the wall, but you ignored it. And now you're still seeing the handwriting on the wall and you're still ignoring it. So they're basically saying, read the room. He's saying that he doesn't want you by being disrespectful to you. So it might be a good time to leave. Even if you have a medical problem, which is what Dick and Ben Ratley pointed out, even if you have a medical problem, somebody will still love you with that medical problem. You just need to know that you deserve good things, despite the fact that something bad happened to you or you have a medical challenge. You still deserve love. You still deserve respect. Inching closer and closer to the end of the show now. This is 12 minutes to 11. And at this point, we're definitely rounding off. I would like to take 1 or 2 more calls before I go. So if that lucky person is you, call the number 07000 917 917 07000 917 917 to give your advice tonight to Cynthia. It would have been beautiful if we had heard from anyone who had been through this before, who had been in this situation, who had been cheated on, and the person had stayed with their partner, and things didn't turn out right, and things turned out right. It would have been nice to get, these kinds of feedback so that Cynthia can get practical experience from people. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name?
My name is.
Okay, I need more volume from you.
Hello.
I need more volume from you. I'm struggling to hear you. I'm straining to hear you. Okay, call back if you can. 10 minutes to the hour of 11. Pardon me. 10 minutes to the hour of 11. And we're rounding off very soon. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. What's your name or where are you calling from?
I'm Precious. I'm calling from Magboro.
Precious from Magboro. Precious, are you calling for the first time?
Ma?
Are you calling for the first time?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's for you. That's for you. We celebrate you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome. I want to say something. I'll be like, she should just move on. She should walk away because that would just be the best thing for her. And taking her the things being in that relationship, no respect. She shouldn't just look like her age or anything. If she if she walks away from the relationship right now, like today, tomorrow, by the grace of God, she will find someone else, definitely, because she deserves the best. No one, everybody deserves the best. Like, she shouldn't keep wasting her time on that relationship. She doesn't want it.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Precious. Thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Precious is advising Cynthia to walk away. She's saying that it's better off to walk away now than to be stuck in a relationship or in a marriage that there's no respect and there's no love. So she's saying if you do it now, there are still a lot of chances that you find somebody who deserves you, somebody who makes you feel good. And she says everyone deserves the best, and so do you. Hello, good evening. Okay. So Precious, okay. Hello, good evening. Good evening. I need more volume from you. I'm really struggling to hear you.
Okay, I'm calling from Texas.
I really cannot hear you, Oga. I really can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from Texas.
Okay, just go ahead. I really cannot hear you, so you need to repeat yourself over and over again.
Okay, I say I'm calling from Texas.
Okay, you're calling from Festac, okay?
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is CBK.
Chibike.
Yeah.
Okay, Chibike, just be louder. Be louder for me, please. Please be louder.
Okay, I know what happened, but it's only by grace of God. The relationship and marriage will start again. Only by the grace of God. So I hear what happened. So let's see here. Have something. Maybe the man don't want to marry her. So you will see another man. If you have faith in God, you will see another man.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chibike. Thank you for calling. All right, that's our final call of the night. And Chibike says Cynthia should have patience and she'll find somebody else. And she should just have patience. She should have faith in God and she will find somebody else who will love her the way she deserves to be loved. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has contributed tonight via phone calls, text messaging, WhatsApp messaging, on Facebook. Thank you so much. I'm sure that Cynthia will be able to take an informed decision based off of all that advice. On behalf of Cynthia, I say thank you again, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow, same time, 9 to 11, same station, Women Radio, same program, Adult Conversations. Thank you to the producer, Taiwo Adeleye, my engineer on duty, Michael Ike Paul. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Please keep safe and have a wonderful night.
24/7. Tell I feel you Monday to Sunday. Child, like any like you don't make me the high and the happy and the proud. Girl, I can never have it any other way. And that's the reason why me I say I'm officially blind. Girl, your love for me is so crazy. I'm officially blind. The way you're loving me is making me. I'm officially blind. Baby, this is so democracy. I'm officially blind. The only way I see, the only way I look. Me, I don't really care what's in all these people that make up for your matter. Me and you with a bulletproof vest, we no send nobody bata. Love is blind, but you open my eyes every time you smile. Baby, I will always be there. You go for the fear. I cover you like an opinion of the day. All the talk of all I see them talking, know they follow me. And that's the reason why me understand. I'm officially blind. Girl, your love for me is so crazy. I'm officially blind. The way you're loving me is blinding me. I'm officially blind. Baby, this is so democracy. I'm officially blind. The only way I see it, the only way I look up. When I correct, I bet you walk out this walk up. But after I got you, I die fata. But you do not know that you block up. Anybody try you, I go shoot the motherfucker. Ever blessing, you are mixing, you are blessing, heaven sending, complimenting, now you're loving, really meant it for my life. And that's the reason why I say I'm officially blind. I'm officially blind. The way you're loving me is blinding me. I'm officially blind. Baby, this is so democracy. Oh, I'm officially blind. The only way I see it, the only way I look. I'm officially blind. Girl, your love for me is so crazy. I'm officially blind. The way you're loving me is blinding me. I'm officially blind. Baby, this your love is blinding me. I'm officially blind. The only way I see it, the only way I move. Smells.
Play Nigerian songs. Every time, all the time. WFH 91.7.
Is it love you are looking for? Is it peace you are looking for? Oh, you're looking for. You go find out more. Don't worry anymore. You go get up even more. Even more. You go get up now. It may be difficult for you. You may be thinking, can you really make it true? You may be asking, if not only you them do. You may be waiting for your miracle. Find the skippers, what's in you find? Go keep, find the skippers, what's in you find? Go keep, one day you go find, one day you go someone who will call you baby, someone to laugh at your joke and tell you you're really funny. Are you looking for the money to solve all your doubts and worry? I've been agreeing you define because you only get it hard now. It may be difficult for you. You may be thinking, can you really make it true? You may be asking, if not only you, then you may be waiting for your miracle, Find the skippers, until you find it. Go keep, find the skippers, until you find it. Go keep, yeah, yeah,